What's up, tricksters, tricksettas from the second YouTube channel? Another patch review with your Radiant coach. So, today we have a few agent changes in Valorant, and I just want to briefly discuss with you, whether or not this is something significant, something that you should worry about, what is OP, what is not OP at this moment of time. So, first of all, RAZE in the next patch is receiving some significant changes, but also at the same time it's like whatever. Basically, now you want to look at the RAZE more of a movement character, and character that is truly taking the space rather than a character that is, just destroying utility left and right. I mean, always from the beginning of time, RAZE was just an agent to take the space, clear the angles, enter the site, and that's it. But also a very powerful part of the RAZE is that she could have destroyed the Killjoy's utility and CYPHER utility and other Sentinel utility without any efforts at all. What does this mean to you? It means essentially that, now your blast packs and your basically, paint shells, the nade, is not gonna really deal enough damage to destroy most of the utility in this game. So essentially, what are the RAZE changes? First of all, the nade now has lower radius of explosion. It also, the little nades that splatter, they also have the lower radius of explosion. The primary grenade explosion damage, minimum damage, is now 1, and the secondary grenade explosion minimum damage is now 1. And the damage multiplier to enemy utility is only 100%. What does that mean to you? That means that if you want to destroy a Killjoy ultimate, you need to be very, very precise with your nade. Especially if you plan to do some kind of a nade lineups to destroy the Killjoy utility, you need to be very precise and essentially, your main impact and at least 2 nades need to hit the Killjoy ultimate in order to essentially destroy it. Now, these type of lineups for destroying the Killjoy utility, destroying the Killjoy ultimate, I don't know if they're gonna be valid anymore. I don't know if it's gonna be possible to essentially destroy the Killjoy utility, like this. I think that basically you need to place your nades exactly on the Killjoy ultimate in order to destroy it. And the second update to the RAZE is essentially blast packs. Now, satchels don't deal damage anymore until fully armed. And the satchel arm time is now 1.5 seconds. What does that mean for you? So, essentially, this is not the time when you can use the satchel. You can still, look at this, you can still use the satchel immediately as you deploy it. For the movement purposes, for doing a Ferrari swing onto the enemies, for reaching certain positions and double satcheling, it's fine. The only difference is now that when you drop the satchel, you need to wait 1.5 seconds if you want the satchel to deal some damage to the enemy's utility and damage to the enemies in general. Generally speaking, satchel damage is was always insignificant in the gunfights, especially, a few months ago, years ago actually, the satchels received such a hard nerf when it comes to the damage. I don't use them to actually, damage the enemies. I use them to fight the enemies and displace the enemies. But this is significant for your teammates that are pushing behind you, because now when you're double satcheling into the site, your teammates are gonna have such a hard time essentially going through the, Killjoy utility, CYPHER utility, and, they will need to clear this utility with something else. Other than that, for solo queue purposes, RAZE is still an S tier agent in Valorant. It is still one of the easiest agents to grind, like in ranked solo queue, and, nothing like, your teammates are gonna get effed up a bit, basically, by this change. But anyways, let's be honest, team play in Valorant doesn't exist. Everyone is toxic, everyone plays for themselves, so, maybe up until high Radiant, you won't see some high levels of team play in this game. Other than that, everything still remains the same for this agent. Nothing changes. Extremely good duelist for taking the space, fighting the enemies, creating very, very smart and beneficial gunfights. That's it, basically, when it comes to the RAZE. Now, second agent. Just a second. Let's go to the second agent that received some kind of a some kind of a change, and that is the CYPHER. Okay, now the second agent that received significant changes, and to be honest, this might put this agent above maybe any other Sentinel in the game, and that is the CYPHER. If you're a Cypher main, this is really a good day for you. Like, Valorant is really moving in a direction where they want a double controller meta. They want 2 Sentinels on the maps, and, you know, like, who cares about the duelist players? So, CYPHER, Trapwire. Decrease the time until the trap concusses a captured enemy from 3 to 1.5 seconds. So now if you're captured by the concuss of the tripwire, you're gonna get stunned much faster, which is really, really, really good. Because in solo queue, let's be honest, like, your teammates are never gonna destroy the, you know, like, the trips for you. If you get trapped, you're kinda dead, basically. Now, after concussing an enemy, or an enemy in the trap was killed, the trapwire no longer destroys itself, but instead rearms after 0.5 seconds. So essentially, now you cannot clear the CYPHER tripwires with Skydog, with Sova drone, with RAZE boombot, and it is kind of pointless using your utility for clearing these traps. I mean, as soon as you clear them, you need to destroy them immediately and find a way to destroy them, essentially. Because, you know, even if you clear that piece of utility with a Skydog, Sova drone, and your teammates don't push in to destroy the tripwire, it's gonna rearm again, and we're in the same fucked up position. This is really, really good. This is really strong buff for CYPHER, because there are some spots in Valorant that you simply cannot reach with a bullet. Like, some tripwires are indestructible, basically, like, unless you peek the enemies in wide open, in a choke point, and try to destroy the trip. So essentially, this is an extremely, extremely good buff for CYPHER mains, and to be honest, maybe CYPHER is gonna, in my agent tier list, go a bit higher than Killjoy for ranked solo queue, in my opinion. It still depends on the map. Of course, like, depends which map you're playing, but I feel for solo grind, this is a significant change, in my opinion. Now, second agent that received a bit of the changes is the Sky. The Q ability, Trailblazer. Adjust Trailblazer's collision so that it goes under trapwires placed at mid-height. This won't affect the hitboxes for weapon damage. So what does this mean? This means if the tripwire looks, let's say, like this. So you place a tripwire that basically looks like, I don't know, let's say like this. There is a huge chance that unless you jump with a dog will just go underneath the tripwire. Because dog is going to be significantly lower than a player that is actually crouching. It's going to be even lower height than this. So when you're using a Sky, you know, like dog, when you're using the Prowler or the Fade, there is a huge chance that you're also going to miss the CYPHER's tripwire. So, I mean, all of these changes for both RAZE, Sky, Fade, and CYPHER are directed more towards bringing the Sentinels back in the game. Like, essentially, this is not some kind of a change that is like, oh yeah, we nerfed the Sky, we nerfed the Fade, we nerfed the RAZE. Like, well, those 3 agents are still very useful and very good agents for ranked solo queue. The problem is, like, that CYPHER now, I feel that he is a really solid pick on a lot of the maps, and I feel that if they do some other buff to this CYPHER, he's easily gonna overtake Killjoy on a lot of the maps, especially now that the Killjoy's ultimate is like, what, 9 points? Bro, like, you can get like a maximum 2 Killjoy ultimates in 1/2. Sometimes you're not gonna get even 2. Like, sometimes you're gonna get 1 if you're, you know, just shit player and basically, like, you don't kill anyone. So, essentially, all of these changes right here that you see are primarily directed towards the CYPHER mains. You know, congrats to the CYPHER mains. They won the lottery of because usually Valorant doesn't buff anything. Like, Valorant is always, like, Riot Games is just nerfing everything left. Nerf this, nerf that. Let's play CS2, you know, like, let's play Counter-Strike then if we're gonna nerf the abilities and everything. But this time, the lottery of buffs and nerfs was won by the CYPHER mains. Now, we are also receiving, in the next patch, a significant weapon changes. Judge is finally getting nerfed. Yes, you know, all of the crybabies, you know, you can stop now. Judge is nerfed, but psych, it is not actually nerfed. So what happened to the Judge? Now, Judge has 5 ammo in the main magazine. So you can fire 5 bullets in the magazine. There is an increased jumping and running spread. So while you're running and jumping, you're less accurate with a Judge. As you can see here, I'm gonna demonstrate to you right now. When you jump, look at the spread. That is a lot bigger than it what used to be, right? Just look at this. It's like a short. Basically, this is like a shorty spread, right? Yeah, shorty has the same spread, bro. When you're jumping, and when you're running. Okay, when you're running, it still has like okay, you know, spread that is fine. Now, is this going to, you know, like, is this some significant nerf to the weapon? Yes and no. Like, essentially, the main problem of the Judge, it is not ammo capacity, it is not run and gun and you know, potential. The main problem is the fire rate. Fire rate of this shotgun is, I feel, the main problem. Like, you're still gonna be able to delete enemies on some maps, such as Split, Bind, you know, those claustrophobic maps, even Ascent, to be honest, in some of these close-range corridors, and by executing the bomb sets and everything. And I feel that one of the main like directions of this nerf is to nerf the potential of the Judge on the attacker side. But personally, I've kind of stopped recommending players like to use the Judge and to use the shotguns, except the shorty. On the attacker side already, I don't know, 3 episodes ago. Like, Stinger is a very powerful weapon, Short is a very powerful weapon to trade yourself for the kills, pick up the gun from the dead enemies, and essentially, I don't see a reason to play Bucky or Judge anyways on the attacker side, and Bucky not even on defense, to be honest. I still feel that on defense, Judge is gonna be a bit of the Canceroni, like, which I like. I mean, I like the diversity in different gameplays, and I feel that this change is okay, but I feel that it's not gonna be significant enough. Like, same as with the Stinger nerf. Like, a Stinger got nerfed, like, buffed and then nerfed a few patches ago, but this weapon is still a shredding machine if you learn how to control the spread of the weapon and how to control the, you know, the spray of the weapon, which is kind of easy if you just go into deathmatch and practice in a practice range, etc, etc. So overall, you know, changes that were kind of necessary. I must say, you know, Judge was very broken, and dying from that weapon was not really fun. Now is everything like the main significant change is just CYPHER, in my opinion, and Sentinels. Like, Sentinels got buffed a bit from this, like, from this patch, especially CYPHER, and I feel that now we're gonna have even more problems pushing into the bomb sites and essentially taking the proper space. Everything else in this patch, like, thus far, is just quality of life changes, and there is nothing notable to speak about. These are not the official patch notes, this is just the PBE. Maybe something is gonna be changed, but for now, this is everything. We'll see tomorrow or in 2 days from now if they're gonna adjust this a bit. But to be honest, I feel that, yeah, it's okay. There's nothing for you to worry about. RAZE is still an S tier agent. Judge is still a powerful weapon. to some degree, and CYPHER mains, as I said, you won the lottery of Riot Games, because, to be honest, Valorant is notorious for not buffing anything and just nerfing fucking every agent, and the whole game is becoming boring and snooze fast and sleep fast, and I would rather play Counter-Strike 2 than playing a RNG shooter game. Okay, thank you for watching. Subscribe on my YouTube channel, join my Discord server for coaching. Let's get you to Radiant, and I'll see you in the next video, in the next clip. Mwah!